There's tornado sirens, nails on a chalkboard, and Vickie Guerrero's. Vickie Guerrero was plain and simple dog whistle like. Bro, what are you doing if you win the WWE Championship and the next night you hear this? This character lasted for about 7 years in the WWE, so she clearly did something right. Today, I want to take a look at the character that was Vickie Guerrero. I want to take a look at what made that brain tick and that voice so loud, like a true crime documentary. I want to take a deep dive into the character that was Vickie Guerrero. Every true villain started as a hero, right? So let's take a look at the hero version of Vickie Guerrero. Ex-con Dirty Dom. It all started with you. The storyline of Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. This storyline obviously featured Rey's family, but what no one talks about is Eddie Guerrero's family. Vickie Guerrero made her debut talking sense to her husband to let go of whatever issue he had with Rey. Vickie was an empathetic peacemaker in her debut and talked about the family and how those issues were affecting her and Eddie. As you guys even remember, she refused to help Eddie Guerrero in the ladder match for Dominic's custody. So overall, a solid first impression for her and the WWE audience. Now, as you all know, in 2005, Eddie Guerrero really died. It wasn't a storyline, so Vickie actually held the induction ceremony, and this was real. This was really Vickie, and obviously she went away for a while after. Vickie Guerrero jumped back onto the scene in 2007 when she became the co-person in charge of SmackDown with Theater Long. 6-man tag matches might become 12-man matches after that. People thought Vickie was an empathetic character they saw coming down her husband. This is all they had seen of Vickie up to this point. At first, she actually was. She didn't really get involved too much and seemed to treat everyone pretty much the same. If someone was a bad guy, they would get punished, and the heroes would get opportunity. What they did in his nuts gave them permanent eardrum damage. Over the course of the next few years, Vickie Guerrero was the most obnoxious character to listen to. And it all started with my boy Hornswoggle. My boy Hornswoggle had just won the Cruiserweight Championship on Raw, and Vickie Guerrero was acting like a tweener, a babyface and a heel. She told him, "What you did on Raw was amazing." And then she said, "Dummy, yeah." The reason why is because he was on SmackDown now, and if he got hurt, it would be irresponsible. So she pretty much just said, flip Hornswoggle. The character from here just kept getting worse and worse. And by worse, I mean evil. She started getting involved with superstars and supporting some and costing others opportunities. Oh yeah, and this is where Excuse Me was born. She cost The Undertaker a championship match though by sending the Big Show and Chavo. Big Show and Vickie Guerrero went down to the ring, and Chavo got kidnapped. He got attacked, and Undertaker made his way to the ring as the Big Show went backstage. This, in kayfabe, breaks Vickie Guerrero's neck and puts her in a wheelchair. She became even more of a heel and kept punishing The Undertaker. This isn't a career retrospective, so let's jump into the real lobster of this video. The most entertaining side of this character, 2010 to 2014. You know, I like to give credit where credit is due, and one thing about Vickie Guerrero is she got a lot of guys attracted to her. From Big Show to Dolph Ziggler, which she was with for a while. And during this time, he became Intercontinental Champ. But what you might not remember, I sure didn't, was that John Cena on a cold and snowy December night kissed Vickie Guerrero. Yeah, in a handicap match, Vickie Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena, he fended off Vickie Guerrero by kissing her. Guys, the commentator is supposed to be non-biased and listen to Matt Striker's reaction. Because her hair wasn't long anymore, and as we were talking about in this video, Vickie was mean and said excuse me. She kind of became a target to gas, to make fun of. Here is going to be a compilation of Vickie getting roasted and me doing some commentating.
You naked makes everything yourself throw up in my mouth. Lost weight? Look around, I think you'll find it.
Jerry Lawler was always out of pocket with his roast to Vickie Guerrero. And yeah, pretty much everyone used to roast, but through all of these things, she stayed in power as running either SmackDown or Raw, which brings us to the final act of this character. This is truly going deep into the character that was Vickie Guerrero, because the most heel character to be last name Guerrero, she turned babyface, ladies and gentlemen. The babyface run of Vickie Guerrero. So through the years, there were times where we saw this. Remember the beginning of this video? It all started in 2014, and Vickie Guerrero was the person in charge. Around this time, Stephanie was a regular, and she, along with her family, was in charge of the person in charge. Stephanie pretty much gave Vickie an ultimatum in the segment on Raw. Not only that though, Stephanie told Vickie that the reason they hired her is because they felt petty for Vickie. Vickie was willing to do anything for her job. Stephanie told her that she had a decision to make. Was it gonna be she leaves, or she had a match where she fights for her job? Well, a look came over Vickie and she accepted. The next week on Raw, Vickie came out ready for her match. Her boss maybe for the final time, had another thing to say. They were gonna have a match, but it was gonna be in a pool of brown stuff. In your mind, imagine what it would be. There's only like less than 10 brown substances. So Stephanie brought out her women to attack Vickie Guerrero, the woman who wanted to mess with the Undertaker, and everyone who was in her sight in her time when she was in control now was at a disadvantage for being put out. And the wild part, fans did not want to see it. Vickie took the first two out, the third one came, and it was a little bit of a tug of war, but she got the job complete. Then Stephanie McMahon, like it was part of the plot, pushed her in. Vickie was so great in terms of taking the women out, but it was done and she got scammed. Rules are rules. She still got put into the pool, so she was done. She was fired, so she threw Stephanie into the pool. A referee attempted to help her and he got covered in. The way the selling of this was going was really funny. Vickie celebrated with the Eddie dance. At the end of this, she was the best heel of the night. Who would have thought? When you look at this character from top to bottom, it started off as a brief babyface and then it translated into a chalkboard heel, and at the end a sympathetic babyface who was on her way out. The character that was Vickie Guerrero was annoying and heroic at the same time. It really shows the skills of the person playing it and how it evolved. Honestly guys, I really enjoyed making this video. Like, subscribe, share, do everything that I'm in my channel popping. Peace out.